So good afternoon, class. For business continuity map, today we will have our online recorded class discussion. So I opted to have this recording in order for us to stay on the track because many of you are having your thesis presentation, no, the activities for the graduating class. So by this recorded video, we will able to also have the class while you are having your freedom to choose when and where you can play this video. So, title for our topic for today, mapping for disruptions in emergency response and operation. For our introduction, before anything else, you would have to download the PDF first while you are playing this video so that you can scan. You can see the presentation, no, the instructional material prior for the discussion. So when you have opened it, you just have to listen. No? For the introduction, mapping is an essential tool for emergency response and operation as it provides a visual representation of the affected areas, including the location of hazards, assets, and resources. This information can be used to plan and coordinate response efforts to identify potential risks and allocate resources effectively. So, nganong ato mang i-map ang layout sa ato ang company. So, not just in the company, at home, we can also apply this. You, as a potential professionals, to be employed to certain companies nga dagko, diba? ESM, the Energy Systems and Management Industry. Dako man kay ni siya. So, you'll be expected to employed to different big companies, local and international. So we need to have this class so that you will be equipped. You have an idea, a glimpse of what awaits you in the industry. So types of map used in emergency response. No, so based on the several types of maps that are commonly used in their emergency response, each with this has its own specific purpose, no? Some of the most common types of maps include number one, we have situational awareness maps. What are those? These maps provide a general overview of the affected area, including the location of hazards, assets, and resources. They are often used to make quick decisions and how to allocate resources and deploy personnel, no? If you are now being deployed to a certain company, part of the orientation would be departmentalized. If to where the department you are in, you are being oriented, you are being exposed so that you will know, no, the 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 mapping of the area, because some of the discussion would be integrated on your orientation, diba? Unsa galito, those are situational awareness maps. Forecasted maps that are unsa man, ilahang identify. So that's are the prone areas for emergency, diba? Number two is detailed response map. What are these? These maps provide a more detailed information about specific areas such as location of buildings, roads, and utilities. They are used to plan and coordinate response efforts on a more granular level. This detailed response map would be a specific map for a specific section of the floor. Ba? If you have several floors in your building, the facility, specific maps are departmentalized, or kung napay mas gamay sa department, those are those maps, di ba? Nganong naaman ta? Because in a certain situation, na ay gas leak, emergency, na explosion, i-view sa before mo adto si responder, no, si emergency responder, atong tan-awon ang mapa sa so that you would know where to enter, where to exit, or kung block ang entrance, block ang exit, we would have to strategize another way for entry and exit. So, 'di ba? And makuha tani siya sa safety officer, no? Or the human resource personnel in that company, ba? They are designated and uh assigned personnel dito, 'di ba? Specified personnel. Number 3 of the maps would be the hazard maps, no? This map shows the location and potential impact of hazards such as floods, wildfires, and earthquakes. In the industry, these hazard maps are those maps that are in the vital operation of the company. For example, if you are in the petroleum industry, so these hazard maps contain a map where the biohazard, the hazardous chemicals and substances is located. This is to what? To view if when and where the accident or the threat would happen, diba? So the fourth map would be the resource map. This map shows the location of available resources such as hospitals, shelters, and transportation assets. They are used to identify, allocate resources to where they are needed the most. So resource maps, these are maps kung if your industry, if a company belongs to that area sa Taguluan, so kana nga mapa show og company location towards what? Hospitals, shelters. Unsa man nga shelters? In case of explosion, aha man magstay ang employees, no, that are in the vicinity of the company, di ba? Kung dagko nga company na gini shelters, especially sa katong petroleum, nuclear, no? In abroad, those nuclear power plants, they have shelters, specific shelters that can withstand nuclear detonation, nuclear blast. They are also radiologic protected, no? So katong mga hazards, no? Not just into the fires, floods, and etc. They can also withstand the nuclear radiation. Next would be transportation assets, no? For example, if your company is located to an isolated area, island siya. So wherein the specific island, makita ninyo ang transportation going outside the island. If you are in the island where your factory or your business establishment is uh located, no? Diyan mo makitaan kung aha ka, pwede mo sakay just to get out to the island, no? Isolated area. So we have one of the isolated areas would be underneath the earth, no? This mines. So there are transportation routes and terminals and centers located beneath the ground, diba? Some of those katong sa Canada, they are well known for mines for salt and phosphorus, I think, ba? So underneath those mines are transportation's asset, or centers where they can find the saman katong rail nga ilang sakyan sa ilalom. So, on the ancient times katong mga kopong-kopong pa, they have this rail underneath the earth, 'di ba? Katong rail kanang release talaga, 'di ba? And now di na sila gagamit ana kay very limited capacity of kanang carrying transpo. So now they are into the massive scale na vehicles that are moving around underneath the ground sa mga dagko nga mining companies. So dadto nimo tan-aw, no? So when we are talking all about mines, dili lang na isa duha ang dalan. So we need to have maps. So dili ra na ang entrance and exit ana is entrance and exit going up is only one, but the ways going there is several, ba? Kay they are scattered very large man na sa ilalom. So that are those, no? So moving on to the benefits of mapping for emergency response. Number one, now this provides the several benefits for emergency response, including number one, improve situational awareness. This indicts maps that provide a visual representation of the affected area, which can help emergency responders to better understand the situations and make informed decisions, di ba? So, improve situational awareness man, di ba? Because if you were the one, no, naa sa emergency, di ba? If wala kay mapping, so mahadlok ka, you are scared, you are not aware of the unsa man, you are not aware of the what lies ahead of you, di ba? Versus kung naatay mapa, di ba? So, mas maayo ang imuhang naa kay planning ahead, di ba? Second would be benefits for mapping emergency response, enhance coordination, no? Maps can be used to share information with other responders, which can help to improve coordination to avoid duplication of effort. For examples, maps are unsa man ni, meant to be shared, di ba? Kung if we are to mention again the mining maps underneath the ground, di ba? So katong mapa di ra gid na makit-an didto sa ilalom sa mining area. Makitaan po na dito sa ibabaw sa ilang headquarters so that in the event of the explosion or disruption sa katong entrance and exit going down, going up, then makaingon ang mga miners and the officials up above to aha ang na-block nga passages. So unsa may other options kung na-block ni sila, napabay lain routes, di ba? Napabay lain routes or napabay lain i-drill nilang area if totally disrupted tong pathway, the passage, di ba? Next would be, the benefits would be increased efficiency. Maps can help to identify the most efficient routes for travel now, which can save time and resources. For example, atong sa mines gyapon, if totally abandoned and totally destroyed ang area, dili na ta kuan adto, di ba? Dili na ta mag-cling onto that portion. So maghimo na lang ta, mag-drill na lang ta. Much more wiser and efficient. Di ta magkalas-kalas sa time kay basin pag kuan nimo dito, pagkalot nimo dito, napaday lain problems, several problems. So mag-dig out na lang ta, yeah? Going down. Sure ka nga na dito, we have the map, we have the GPS to locate an exact location underneath the mine. Diba? Yan na. If you do not have the maps, then na ta magka-problema, diba? So the fourth one and the benefits of mapping for emergency response would be improved decision making. No? Maps can provide an information needed to make sound decision about resource allocation, evacuation, and mitigation. And resource allocation katong mga goods that are can be used underneath the ground katong sa mga mining companies, di ba? If na-trap sila sa ilalom, then the map would serve as their direction to unsa man katong mga stocks sa ilalom to buy out time, to extend their life underneath, di ba? Ay mga canned goods, we have the water bottles, supplies, medical aid equipment, and etc. underneath. So without those maps, you cannot somehow locate those areas that storing essentials underneath, di ba? It will take some time for you to be dug out underneath, di ba? Or for examples, di ba? Natay kuan dinosaur kuan farm. Kamo ang gabantay di Ni-slide ang isa ka bukid didto, di ba? Ni-slide ang isa ka bukid dili na to accessible. So unsa man? So the map would provide an information where you can efficiently and effectively saman travel across sa katong area sa inyong company, di ba? For examples, you are onto the survey of lands and mountains to sa far-flung areas. And then you possess the map sa katong far-flung area na infested with terrorists and kuan and mga kuan mga terrorists, 'di ba? So na may information gi-radio nga naay kuan didto mga terorista. So you pave your way to another direction, 'di ba? Without those maps, then hindi mo makapture, no? Another problem for the company, especially for those sa inyo sa energy sector, 'di ba? Daghan kay karon nga mga electric wires, cables gaagi na karon sa mga bukid-bukid, 'di ba? Na kung ikaw karon dagto ang nag-inspection, nag-maintain sa area na kit-an ka sa Abu Sayyaf, MNLF, 'di ba? So, kung kabalo na giradyohan na kadaan nga naay terrorist di ang area, so di na ka mo tagbo, 'di ba? Para magpadakop lugar ka, 'di ba? So, practical, mo iwas ta, 'di ba? Then challenges for mapping in emergency response. Number one, data accuracy. No? Data inaccuracy of maps is critical for emergency response, but it can also be difficult to obtain accurate data in real time, especially if your maps doesn't have the right coordinates, di ba? Or you have maps with coordinates, but you lack the GPS, di ba? If kamo, empleyado mo, going to several kanang acres of property sa bukid-bukid, no, one of the communication devices is handheld radio, satellite phones. Kung wala ng duha na totally rely ka sa GPS. So makita nimong coordinates dito, tanaw nimo sa mapa. Okay kayo. Na kay mapa but you don't have the GPS. Di mo kukitaan ang longitude and latitude sa kuan sa mapa, di ba? So much for those topics, di ba? Na panay other specifics pero as far as I have research mo pa na siya. Second challenge to the mapping for emergency response is data latency. What is data latency? It can take time to collect, process, and distribute mapping data which can delay response efforts, especially kung coordinates lang, so wala tayong problem. But as to the imagery, no, in the ground, no, di pareha diri sa city, no, naman tay Google Maps, na atay katong road maps, katong makitaan gid nimo ang kada dalan, makitaan nimo ang itsura. But for those areas, no, in the far-flung areas dito sa bukid-bukid, lisod kayo, di ba? That would be not a problem for abroad, di ba? Sa mga rich countries because they have drones, di ba? They have drones to be deployed sa katong mga far-flung areas to search for unsa man, to search for you kung kamo nawala ba mo, ahapa ba mo, naa ba mo dadto, di ba? So much for that, no? The third one for challenges for mapping in emergency response is data sharing. No? Sharing a mapping data with other responders can be challenging due to the security and privacy concerns because if you would have to i-publish nimo ang map, maybe, no? Katulad itong ay mga dili maayo nga ulo ug mga plano-plano, di ba? For example, sa kaning sa Del Monte, kung ilang i-publish ang ilang maps, they are exclusive for the company, di ba? Makita na noon ang location sa storage sa ilahang mga crops sa ilahang mga chemicals nga kinabutangan, di ba? So basin expose sa public nakawaton, di ba? So data sharing, no? Or else pod your recent coworker kabalo siya sa mga information, no? Na naa sa mapa. And pag resign niya na siya grudges sa company, iyang gi-release sa public. So ang kaning public karon matempt na to sa man do robbery or other unjustful actions against your company. So despite of these challenges, mapping remains an essential tool for emergency response and operation by providing a visual representation of the affected areas. Maps can help to improve situation awareness, enhance coordination, and increase efficiency, and also to improve decision making. In addition to the benefits mentioned above a while ago, dapat yung idugang number one, you identify the potential risk, no? Kay you know naman the situation, you know the benefits. So daday kay imo din ma-assess. So which part of those are weak, di ba? You identify the potential risk. Kung kabalo na ka sa benefits, di ba? Maps can be used to identify areas that are risk for natural disasters such as floods, wildfires, earthquakes, for those information that can be used to develop plans for evacuation and mitigation. So kung na kayo na-identify nga potential risk based on the benefits, diba? Ang benefits kay natay mga proper facility. Unsa may kuan po dito kanang potential risk. Maybe katong nanay proper facility, ang risk din dito is lungkabon to nga area, ba? Or for example pod katong nga area ma-destroy sa mga termites ang mga naa dadto nga supplies. So the second one would be to track the movement of incidents, no? By area makita nimo nga oy kani di nga portion, no? Always diri na accident prone, di ba? Always nato makitaan sa mga kung sa dalan lang accident prone area in here in Hasaan makatawa mo going to from here Hasaan going to Aplaya na itan-awon niyo dapin sa dalan 30 naka-aksidente diri gusto ba kag ikaw ang ika-31 ba tsada kay nga ako nakitaan kagahapon nga signboard sa dalan kay pa-curve man siya adto naman sa paliko nga dalan so naa na daw dadto nakabutang 30 naka-aksidente diri gusto ba ka nga ikaw ang ika-31 di ba so it catches the attention and the interest of the public ay mga inanha ba prone siya ana nga kuan nga area or dadto pud nga area prone na ang saman ang kawat-kawat di ba so imong matanawan dadto sa imuhang emergency response and operations so most likely di na ka mag-store dadto og supplies or whatsoever nga mga property dadto kay perminti man manimo makitaan nga na incident ba the third one would be to communicate with the public no these maps can be used to communicate with the public about location and the severity of incidents no this information can help to keep the public safe and informed for example if your company is having biohazard uh biohazard centers there kanang or kanang si tawagan storage sa mga biohazard na naidaghan balay dito sa unahan so i-inform nimo ang community na ay present dadto nga duol nga harm ba or dadto na nimo gi-store ang gasoline dadto ang gasoline na duol sa mga kuan public space open space for the public so imo nang i-aware daan kay basin na magpaduol dadto nanigarilyo niya na day kuan to storage for gasoline and other combustible fumes di ba so ipalayo na nimo i-inform na nimo daan ang public so to conclude mapping is a powerful tool that can be used to improve emergency response and operation. By providing a visual representation of that affected area, maps can help to save lives and property. So, inanagya po na siya diri sa eskwelahan, di ba? Example gyapon nato, di ba, sa lecture, sa physics lecture, di ba? We were discussing all about emergency response, OSH practices, no? Wala na to na kit-an day ang our own entrance and exit are one of the entrance and exit is being blocked. Ano man guba ang pirtahan. So kung naay kuan karon emergency na maglumba ta sa entrance ta mo exit na ang exit kay block man. So mag-stampede ta na, ba? So that's why we need to have maps for us to be guided and informed. So that would be all for this topic, no? Um Mapping for disruptions and emergency response and operation. You expect a quiz and a quiz 5 items and an essay 2 items, no? So the link would be under comment section. So deadline of the link is you would want to put it in one whole sheet of yellow pad paper, ba? So deadline next week, Wednesday, the same date. First meeting next week. So that is all for today. Thank you and God bless.